everyone. So my question is going to be coming out of the Understanding Behaviorism book, out of the first chapter. So at the very first page or first section, it starts talking about behaviorism and how it is simply they study or the science of behavior if possible. And however, there are several different behaviorists out there. They're able to all come to an agreement that there is able to be a science of behavior and the study of behavior and why people behave the way they do. And that this is caused by the environment, and this is why people may act the way they do. However, this also comes into the controversy. There's like a controversy that they talked about, saying that many behaviorists feel that it should be a psychology. But there's a flip side where it says that psychologists kind of reject the idea that psychology is even a science. And then, but since the behaviorists have all come to be able to call that the science of behavior is called behavior analysis. But the piece that people continue to kind of argue about and want to kind of have answers, and the controversial piece is that saying that should behavior analysis even be a part of psychology, because it's the same as psychology or the independent of psychology. But however, there are other organizations where we get our information from, such as the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis and other areas. But those articles in those fields kind of give us an idea and identity of what behaviorism is in general. But so my question kind of comes from, so if you were somebody or someone were to come up to you or your views and ask you what the views were on behaviorism, what would you be able to say? What would your views be? Would you say it is a psychology? Would you be able to kind of argue it's not a psychology? How would you kind of explain it? Because since basically with our field, we talk about the function of behavior and where the function comes from. And with psychology, they talk about the mind and the function of the mind and how it works. So I feel like with psychology and with behavior analysis and all of that it should still be considered a science of some sort, because we're still trying to figure out some of those hypotheses in our field. We're able to kind of give the data. We're able to give a reason why. So we're able to have that evidence. So for many people, and the psychologists who feel, that there may or may not be, that it may or may not, or that psychology may or may not be a science, just kind of makes me wonder where and why they might think that. And I'm just kind of curious where you guys feel on that piece, and why psychologists may or may not think that behaviorism and psychology in general is even a science, in general. Because I feel, or there are just at times, since with science, there's always, we need the hypothesis and we need this. What part, or why might psychologists just feel that there is no science piece to it? So just curious what you guys might think about that question and how you guys would answer it, or maybe how could we maybe look more into it, or maybe a little bit further into the book it might discuss as to why. But I'm just curious how you guys would answer that question to somebody if they were to ask.